details shortly.
Also coming up, Electoral Commission insists that challenges with the voters' register have been addressed, even as experts urge the Commission to build trust among stakeholders.
Speaker of Parliament Alban Bagbin warns that inexperienced individuals in leadership roles are hindering Ghana's development.
On the foreign front, Comoros President Azali Assoumani is out of danger after he was injured on Friday in a knife attack by a 24-year-old police officer. You have details of all these stories and more. Be part of the show. Let's hear what you think of the many stories we have for you tonight.
In the details this evening, fishermen at Jamestown Fishing Harbour in Accra have bemoaned the constant pollution of the beachfront by plastics and organic waste. My colleague Stanley Nibler reports that the area surrounding the newly commissioned Jamestown Harbour is also characterized by open defecation. We're trying to bring you the story where fishermen at the Jamestown Fishing Harbour in Accra have complained about the constant pollution of the beachfront by plastics and organic wastes. Stanley Niblo reports that the area surrounding the newly commissioned Jamestown Harbour is also characterized by open defecation. Let's bring you that story now.
Jamestown is one of the vibrant fishing communities in the Greater Accra region, with more than 1,000 active artisanal fishermen. Fishing activities here have been given a boost with the construction and the subsequent handing over of the Jamestown Fishing Harbour by President Akufo-Addo. Fishermen say the project, which has been designed to include components such as cold stores, selling area, and dry dock for repairs of fishing trawlers, has been a monumental achievement by the government in Accra. While there, people trooped into the harbour to catch a glimpse of the transformation at the landing beach. However, the fishermen have some peculiar challenges with the project, claiming that their canoes are constantly being wrecked by rough tides due to the inability of the contractors to include a windbreak in the project.
The harbour is really nice, but the absence of a windbreak has become a bane for the fishermen. When the weather is windy, it smashes our canoes, wrecking them in the process.
Kwesenyan Sumago, a native of the central region, has migrated to Jamestown to engage in fishing. He is now concerned about the state of affairs at the harbour.
We thought we could heave a sigh of relief with the construction of the harbour, but that has not been the case. There should have been a wall to block the wind. Our canoes are now being damaged because there is none.
Some fish processors who depend on catch from the fishermen lauded the initiative of providing Jamestown with fishing harbour.
The construction of the cold store will really help us in these times of bumper catch, and it will serve customers in times of scarcity.
One would have expected that, as a new fishing harbour, the environment should have been kept clean, but prevailing situation there leaves much to be desired. The area has become final resting place for plastic, polyester and organic pollutants, with some contaminating the marine resources. Each day, waste generated and not properly managed from homes nearby also find their way into the sea, while open defecation at the docking area is also rife. Some fishermen are worried by this development. Others believe that the immediate evacuation of pollutants at the area will protect existing fish species, prevent contamination of fish harvested, while reducing disease outbreaks associated with the environment.
Neke gbefe joye jeme bona. Bene bi eche neke joye ba anye ni ken show mi fu neke. E alo joye ne se kala ba mi ko.
There are garbage all over. The high tides could wash them into the ocean. People must be engaged to clean the harbour so that good sanitary conditions can be maintained.
But until then, Navy officers stationed at the Jamestown harbour will have to be strict in enforcing compliance regarding good sanitary practices. Stanley Nibleu, TV3 News, Jamestown, Accra.
In more news tonight, pressure is mounting on the Electoral Commission to allow for an independent audit of the voter register, although the Commission says issues identified by the National Democratic Congress, the NDC, have been addressed. The NDC is planning a nationwide demonstration against the Electoral Commission on Tuesday, September 17, but the Commission wants the party to further engage on the issue. Meanwhile, the EC is being urged to build public trust in its operations with less than 3 months until the general elections. Here's a News Desk report.
On Thursday, September 12, during a media briefing, Deputy Chairperson of the Electoral Commission, Asiedu-Dartey, noted that the National Democratic Congress did not take an interest in the 2016 voter register.
Perhaps this is the first time the NDC has taken interest in the register. Otherwise, one would have expected them to call for such an audit of the 2016 register, which contain photos of plants and animals representing voters.
However, the NDC has rejected such claims. The comments by the Deputy Electoral Commission chairperson came after the NDC insisted it would protest to demand a forensic audit of the voter register. According to the NDC National Communications Officer, Sami Jemfi, the issues raised by the party are valid and must be addressed.
Voter exhibition is not about detecting illegal voter transfers. Voter exhibition, check CI 91, primarily is for the purpose of giving voters the opportunity to check if their particulars on their voter ID cards have been accurately captured in the voters register. So they go, they show their voters ID card, they check if their names have been spelled correctly, if their details have been spelled correctly, and so on. That is what exhibition is about. No voter has the capacity to detect illegal transfers on the scale we have detected through a voter exhibition exercise. So when you hear the EC argue that, and the whole essence of voter exhibition is so that we can detect errors. And so what the NDC has found is not strange. They are lying to you. Because the errors we are talking about cannot be detected through voter exhibition.
But the Director of Electoral Services at the Electoral Commission, Benjamin Barno-Bill, speaking on the key points, insists that the Commission has resolved or identified discrepancies.
Since we started this registration exercise with this facility since 2020, we have not had such occurrence.
I see.
When this thing happened, then we realized the need for us to go for the liveliness check so that we can use that one to prevent anyone who want to use the photograph as was used to effect transfer. And currently we have done that, but we did not stop there. We went through all the transfer that has been made to ensure that nobody used the same path to effect the transfer, and we did not find any.
Private legal practitioner Martin Pegbu argued that the Electoral Commission must allow an independent audit to safeguard the integrity of the electoral process.
There must be an independent audit. These guys want to rig this election. So they want to rig it and will not allow. Look, on Tuesday, Ghanaians pour out into the streets. Let's go and demonstrate. EC can't take us for granted. Why? Are we kids? Adam Palmer, please. Step in. Yes, step in. Let's have that independent audit.
Senior political science lecturer at the University of Ghana, Professor Ransford Jampo, stressed that the Commission must work to build public trust in its operations.
If you don't trust these state institutions, then their work becomes difficult. We may not be able to, we don't have to always second guess, when we are dealing with them. And then if it comes to Electoral Commission, for instance, we must be mindful of the fact that without the kind of trust that state institutions and especially independent institutions like Electoral Commission are expected to have, if you don't get that trust, then we are in for chaos. If people don't trust the Electoral Commission, then that alone is a recipe for conflict.
For Yabuabina Samoa, spokesperson for independent presidential aspirant Alan Chemanton, the Electoral Commission must inform Ghanaians about the state of its data management system.
The onus for growing trust rests squarely with the Electoral Commission. They have to satisfy political parties, entities, movements, independent, non-partisan candidates like Mr. Chemanton, that irrespective of your status, irrespective of the voter's status, they will have access, and the access will reflect the true desire of the people.
The NDC has announced that its protests across the 16 regions will take place on Tuesday, September 17, aimed at pressuring the Electoral Commission to clean the voter register and ensure it is fit for purpose, guaranteeing a credible election on December 7.
Right, so what exactly is the solution to this debacle between the NDC and the Electoral Commission? Let's engage Dr. Samuel Efriye, who is a political analyst, joining us on Zoom. Doc, good evening. Thank you for your time.
Yes, good evening, and good evening to your cherished friends.
Right, we are ticking closer to December 7. We have barely 3 months to go, and it looks as though we don't have clarity on what exactly the solution will be. The NDC is insisting it does not trust the EC to clean the register. The EC says, forget about your worries, I have cleaned the register already. And that is bringing up issues or concerns of trust. How do we navigate this conundrum?
Thank you once again. You see, the EC and the NDC issue, I think that the EC is failing on its complaint handling system, meaning that if someone has a complaint or someone has an issue, as a voter, what system are in place for me to ensure that those issues are addressed? As a candidate, what are the issues that is at hand for me to also address if I have an issue? And the third is the political parties. If I have an issue, what kind of system does the EC put in place in handling some of these concerns? So I think the EC needs to work on its complaint handling system very well, how each of these groups will have access to their data in terms of information, in terms of engagement. So, and those that will be in charge of handling some of these complaints. And so EC need to wake up and address any issue that is being brought to their table so that they will know how to act. If not, if these things are not done, then it becomes difficult for parties like me as a voter and also a candidate, presidential candidate or parliamentary candidate, and also the political parties as an institution or as a body that ensures that they have an interest in the political system. So we see that is one thing that they need to ensure. And also, if some of these issues crops up and becoming very difficult, I think I learned that the EC has eminent personalities that they can use in handling some of these issues. And I think that can work.
That could be one approach. Right. But is it not concerning, Doc, that it looks as though it's just the NDC that is raising this critical concern? I mean, the interesting part for many is that the EC themselves have acknowledged the challenges or the mistakes that the NDC is pointing to. They say, yeah, we realize you are right that we have challenges with the electoral roll. Is it concerning that it's just the NDC that seems to be trumpeting for an audit of the register? What's happening to the other political parties or even the independent candidates? So far, almost 22 people have picked forms to run as president of the Republic. However, very little to nothing is heard from those other individuals. What's your take on the fact that it looks like it's just the NDC making a solo run?
Thank you. NDC, I said some time ago on your platform that if these elections, you are not smart and things go out of hand, you don't have to blame anybody. So the NDC is trying to be smart this time to ensure that at every stage, at every step of EC, they try to look at it very well, critical eyes. And that is their right. Because if you don't do it and others are not concerned, that does not mean that you are wrong. We all have an interest. And maybe the NDC interest is much more than the individual presidential candidate is independent. I think they have not invested, they have not spent much, they have not campaigned, they have not been in opposition for 8 years. So they have a stake in what goes on as the biggest opposition party. So it is their right that they need to seek for in terms of credible and transparent elections as a state.
Right. Doc, thank you so much for your time this evening. And clearly this is a conversation that we see how it will play out, especially as we wait for Tuesday, the 17th of September, when the NDC will be embarking on the nationwide demonstration to the offices of the Electoral Commission.
There seemed to be an increase in the number of female participation in the upcoming December presidential race. From 2 in 2020, the number of females this year has increased to 3. My colleague Evelyn Tingma in the following news desk report looks at the trend and chances of the female contenders.
Women's participation in politics is crucial for a country's sustainable development and democratic systems. Ghanaian women face significant hurdles, including discrimination, intimidation, and lack of resources, which hinder their full participation in politics. However, the upcoming elections can be a sustainable step towards closing the gap in women's representation in politics.
At the close of forms submissions on Friday, September 13, 22 people had successfully submitted their forms to contest for president in the upcoming December polls. Among them are 3 females, leader of the Ghana Freedom Party, GFP, Ayisha, flag bearer of the People's National Party, PNP, Janet Nabila, and Convention People's Party, CPP, flag bearer, Nana Frimpoma Sapon Kuma. Ayisha is making her 4th attempt. She came into the limelight prior to the 2012 elections, but could not go through the process. In 2016, she was disqualified by the Electoral Commission owing to her inability to meet the requirements set for the elections. The GFP leader was, however, cleared by the EC to contest in the 2020 elections. For Janet Nabila and Nana Frimpoma Sapon Kuma, it is their first time seeking the position of the highest office of the land. The 3 women are known for their bold and outspoken political stances, and they have all reiterated their dedication to champion the concerns of ordinary Ghanaians, drive meaningful change, and create policies to eradicate poverty. In the 2020 presidential election, 2 women contested, Ayisha and Bridget Dokpenuku of the Progressive People's Party, PPP. The 2 may not have performed well, but their participation in the election helped raise awareness about the importance of women's representation in Ghanaian politics. Ayisha garnered 5,577 votes, representing 0.05% of total votes cast. Bridget Jogbenuku had 6,849 votes, representing 0.06% of total votes cast. The 3 women vying for the position this time around, according to some experts, is a bold attempt, even though it is unclear whether all the 3 will be cleared to contest.
Some will argue that the submission of their nomination forms signify their readiness and determination to offer an alternative to the major political parties. But the question remains, can they really make any impact if they are cleared by the EC to contest? Evelyn Tingma, TV3 News, Accra.
In more stories this evening, the Speaker of Parliament, Alban Bagbin, has expressed concern over what he calls inexperienced people being given high leadership positions to the detriment of Ghana's development. The comment follows the wide condemnation of a statement by Agriculture Minister Brian Achampong that the NPP will not hand over power to the NDC after the December elections. In an exclusive interview with TV3, Mr. Bagbin said that comments like that come from inexperienced people whose actions are working against Ghana's development.
Brian Achampong is scarcely in Parliament. You see, that is another thing that we have to do. You see, political leadership is a different ball game. You just don't trust untried and untested hands straight from birth into leadership position.
How do you
They
mean?
have to be groomed. They have to be tutored. They have to be mentored. They have to grow to it. They must have hands-on experience. And so the system we are running is a system that is damaging the growth of this country.
Brian doesn't have the experience.
Where? In politics? Zero. He just elected as a member of parliament and is made a cabinet minister. He has no knowledge about the public sector, about governance, about politics, and he is now going to lead the whole sector. He has never handled such power before, and therefore they think that they are the alpha and the omega.
So you think that's what's influencing how he's behaving?
Not only him, a number of our people in politics now. You know, as they grow, they will learn that what they did were wrong. And they were really undermining their own authority and relevance.
Won't it be too late?
Very late. And that's one of the causes of our underdevelopment.
Ghana's energy sector continues to go through challenges with a constant engagement of the opposition NDC with stakeholders on how to revamp it to become buoyant. The NDC flag bearer, John Dramani Mahama, says the next NDC government has developed a well-thought-out plan and a comprehensive strategy to restore and transform Ghana's energy sector. He spoke at an energy sector engagement here in Accra.
Our energy sector was once a beacon of progress, and it can be so again. The challenges we face are significant, but they are not insurmountable. Together, we can reset Ghana. Together, we can rebuild Ghana's energy sector and put it back in its rightful place as the engine of our economic growth and national development. We can create a 24-hour economy. We can modernize our agriculture and restore Ghana's West Africa energy hub vision that we had. We will ensure transparency and accountability in our energy institutions and ensure that every Ghanaian has access to affordable and reliable power. Corruption and opacity and underhand dealings in the sector will be a thing of the past. Under the Mahama Nana Jane administration, the sector will cease to be a milking cow for a few relatives and cronies of the president and the vice president. Our relatives are not going to be milking the cow. We shall not treat investors in the sector with hostility, as is presently the case, but will rather welcome them as partners and relate with them based on mutual respect, cooperation, and strict adherence to ethical standards. We will consult you, the stakeholders, at every step of the way. The path forward is clear. With strong leadership, sound policies, and your support, we can build the Ghana we all want. A Ghana that thrives. A Ghana where energy powers not just our industries, but also powers our dreams.
Now, Paga, in the Kasina-Nankana West District of the Upper East region, is one of the towns identified as prone to electoral violence, with an alarming 38 hotspots earmarked by security agencies. Ahead of the 2024 general elections, the overlord of Paga Traditional Council P. Awie Awampaga II has held a meeting with political parties to ensure peace before, during and after the elections. Upper East Regional Correspondent Castro Senyala reports.
With less than 3 months until the December 7, 2024 general election, security agencies in the country have begun identifying locations that are hotbeds and prone to electoral violence. In the Upper East region, Paga, the district capital of the Katsina-Nankana West district, has been named as one of such locations with an alarming 38 hotspots. The worrying development, which can pose a threat to peaceful elections, has got local authorities, including the Paga Pew Pechaus Area Awumpaga, instituting measures and holding an engagement with political parties.
Sub-chiefs, elders are on the ground, and that they will cooperate with the police and the other security forces. Whosoever go astray, whosoever wants to disturb the peace of the traditional area will be handed over to the security agencies to deal within drastically.
The commitment to peace before, during and after elections is a collective responsibility, taking turns to speak. Party leadership and parliamentary candidates of New Patriotic Party and National Democratic Congress assured their commitment to a free, fair and peaceful election.
The leadership of the MPP in China Park constituency is assuring you that we will ensure that there is any violence in this year's elections. We are committed to that. But whoever brings up violence, we will bring the person to you, Chief. And we expect an action to also be taken against that person.
We are for peace, and definitely we are sure that unity will exist among us. I told our people that the message for the day, we are campaigning because of Ghana.
The District Police Commander, Assistant Commissioner of Police, Khalil Ibrahim, stressed the commitment of the police service to deal with anyone who foments trouble before, during and after the election.
I assure you that the Ghana Police Service and the other security agencies within Paga are committed to ensuring that we have a peaceful election. What I'm not happy about is that Paga is too small for we to have about 38 hotspots within Paga.
The Ghana Police Service has identified some 4,098 flashpoints across the country that could experience electoral violence ahead of the December election.
Also, scores of supporters of the New Patriotic Party in Assin South have defected to join forces with an independent candidate, Joseph Kofi Damte. Correspondent Thomas Khan has been following happenings in Assin South constituency and has filed this report.
Some of the defectors say their decision to join Joseph Kofi Damte's camp was motivated by the NPP's failure to deliver on its promises and its neglect of the constituency. Joseph Kofi Damte, a former NPP parliamentary aspirant, was disqualified from contesting the 2020 election against incumbent MP Reverend Dr. John Ntim Fodjo. Undeterred, Damte decided to run as an independent candidate and managed to attract thousands of NPP supporters to his camp. In the 2020 parliamentary election, Joseph Kofi Damte polled 15,801 votes, representing 36.22%, while the incumbent MP, Reverend Dr. John Ntim Fodjo, polled 17,121 votes, representing 39.25%. The National Democratic Congress NDC candidate, Nicholas Baffour, secured 10,201 votes, representing 23.38%. Joseph Kofi Damte has again filed to contest the 2024 parliamentary elections and says that this year he will snatch the seat and deliver for the people.
I've visited almost all the communities, and I'm very positive and sure that with the calls that I'm getting and all the interactions that people are giving to me, and this time, looking at events in Assin South, I'm not saying Ghana, what has transpired in Assin South, I'm very positive that the people vote for me massively.
Some of his supporters who endorse his independent candidacy are optimistic that he will win the seat.
he also is our father here. Anytime we want to vote to him, so that he also, we believe that we also have something in Asiedu-Dartey here. So anytime, that's why we are supporting our father, so that everything will be successful with Asiedu-Dartey here.
The will of the people can never be suppressed. So that is why we decided to go behind Mr. Kofi-Dartey and then opt for the developments we are looking for. The development that is happening everywhere, we want it in our constituency. That is what we are asking for. And we feel Mr. Kofi-Dartey is the right person.
Meanwhile, the incumbent Member of Parliament for Asin South, who is also the Deputy Education Minister, Reverend Dr. John Ntim-Fodjo, has also filed his nomination seeking a third term. He is confident of retaining the seat for the NPP.
The real work is happening on the grounds. We are doing house to house, community by community, hamlet to hamlet, to ensure that we spread the good news of Dr. Bawumia and Ntim-Fodjo to everyone. Today marks the beginning of the victory. We are appealing to all Ghanaians that Dr. Mahmoud Bawumia is the future of this country. President Mahama is in the past.
The Asin South parliamentary seat will be one to watch as the governing NPP hopes to break the 8 and secure a parliamentary majority in the December 7 general election. Will it be Reverend Dr. Ntim-Fodjo retaining the seat for the NPP, or will the independent Joseph Kofi-Dartey cause an upset? Or will the NDC, which secured 10,200 votes representing 23.38% in a 2020 parliamentary election, turn the seat green? Well, only time will tell.
Still in politics, the Hohoe constituency in the Volta region is gearing up for another intense election battle between the opposition NDC and the ruling or the governing New Patriotic Party. With just a few months remaining until the December 7 elections, tensions are rising as both parties are determined to make a strong showing. There's more in this report.
The Hohoe parliamentary seat had been held by the National Democratic Congress since 1992 until John Peter Amewu of the New Patriotic Party won it in 2020. John Peter Amewu polled 26,952 votes in his second attempt, defeating the NDC's Professor Margaret Kweku, who garnered 21,821 votes. As the country gears up for another election, John Peter Amewu, who also serves as the Minister for Railways Development, is preparing for another contest.
We've gone beyond development, and so it is about our own personal development. 2024, JP for round 2, JP for round 2, Bawumia for round 1.
I am appealing to you, 2024, vote JP for round 2 and Bawumia for round 1. I know people of Hohoe love me. I promise to champion more development for the constituency.
For the NDC, the loss of the Hohoe seat in 2020 was a bitter pill to swallow, particularly due to the last-minute exclusion of the residents of Santrokofi, Akpafu, Likpe and Lolobi, Sal from voting in the parliamentary election. To reverse what the NDC describes as political maneuvering, the party has nominated Thomas Wolanyo Toko as its parliamentary candidate for Hohoe.
A level that will bring Hohoe a metropolitan assembly where we have 5 sub-metros, a level that will bring development, not development by math, but development on the ground, development that we can see, development that we can feel, a level that all of us will be happy for queuing to cast our votes.
As the NPP strives to hold on to the seat, the NDC feels it is time to reclaim what was originally theirs, setting the stage for a fierce battle ahead of December 7.
Stay with us here on News 360. We have some more news coming up next. Thank you for staying with us. Let's bring you some more stories. Ghana's efforts to beat the United Nations Sustainable Development Goal 6, which seeks to ensure availability and sustainable management of water and sanitation for all by 2030, may not be met as most communities continue to battle with filth amid scarcity of water. My colleague Nadra Mohammed visited some markets in the Savannah region and reports the situation in the markets are not encouraging.
The Buipe Market is a key trading hub in the Savannah region, attracting traders and buyers from surrounding areas. Known for its vibrant trade in goods such as foodstuff, livestock and clothing, the market plays a vital role in the region's economy. However, the market has become overwhelmed with dirt and poor waste management, causing frustration among the traders.
Markets have been a problem since when we were born. It has been like if the rain falls here, we can't enter the market. We suffer a lot before we enter the market. So they should try and do something better about it for us.
When we come here, the whole place is just bad, very muddy. So on rainy season, when you are coming to the market, you start you wear Wellington boots or you dress like you are going to the farm. Because when you come here, before you get to the farm or to the house, nobody will recognize you.
Some traders have resorted to clearing their stalls and the immediate areas themselves, but they say the problem is much bigger than what they can handle on their own.
The authorities should do something about it for us because we are dying. People are not even buying from us.
The DCE says the market issue is political, but he's optimistic of resolving the issue.
The people who are supposed to do the work doesn't want to do. They don't want to do the work because of politics, because they have been employed through politics. They are our members. Instead of you to do the work and we'll get credit for our party, because we are putting you there. You don't work any moment from now. It will not take long. Maybe next 2 weeks when you come, you'll see the market to be a different thing altogether.
All right, let's go on to some other stories now. Apologies for that black on your screen. So crop scientists, farmers and policymakers have come together to discuss and explore new strategies aimed at ensuring agriculture is both sustainable and environmentally friendly. The Savannah Agriculture Institute, in collaboration with its partners, is leading the charge in developing innovative techniques to enhance soil health and boost crop productivity.
The dry spell that swept across 8 regions of Ghana has resulted in catastrophic losses, with farmers losing millions of cedis in investments. In the Upper West region, traditional agricultural practices continue to leave farmers vulnerable, amplifying their struggles. Climate change has become an undeniable force, eroding farmers' ability to achieve expected yields. This has led to reduced crop yields, plummeting farmer incomes, and has become a significant threat to the country's food security.
As what they have planted and how we experienced this year, I planted my groundnut. I harvested it yesterday, and I have only 1 bag from a full of an acre.
Most of them die off, and you can't get, we apply fertilizers and the rest. What we have there, we even destroy most of the, but what we normally do here, you see, when even if there's drought, you see that the land is still what.
To address this, the Crops Research Institute, in partnership with the Savannah Agriculture Research Institute in the Upper West region, is working to close the gap between agricultural technology development and its practical application. At a demonstration farm, farmers are being introduced to innovative, affordable farming technologies. An agronomist and senior research scientist at the Savannah Agricultural Research Institute, Dr. George Mahama, is leading these efforts.
Savannah Agricultural Research Institute is having a collaboration with International Institute for Tropical Agriculture in Nigeria, and we have been working on stress-tolerant varieties of maize for a couple of years. So we have realized that due to the effect of climate change, it's good for farmers to adapt to the effect of climate change, and that is important for them to use climate-resilient maize hybrids, which are drought-tolerant, which are also high yielding and also will fit into the needs of the farmers.
A report from Ghana Country Climate Development underscores the urgency of the crisis. Without immediate climate action, an additional 1 million Ghanaians are projected to fall into poverty by 2050.
On our Fix the Streetlights campaign this evening, residents of Shama in the Western region are expressing concerns for their safety due to malfunctioning streetlights. They lament that the situation is also disrupting commercial activities, forcing businesses to shut down earlier than usual. Stephen Kujo has filed this report.
Major streets in the Shama districts are dark at night, posing a significant threat to the safety of residents. Key areas including the Grabodu-Konfroku Road and a stretch from Shama Junction to Shama, the district capital, are devoid of functioning streetlights. Shama Junction to Shama hosts important institutions like the Shama Senior High School, the Shama District Assembly, Health Directorate, Fire Service and the District Court. Residents fear leaving their homes at 7 p.m. due to concerns about potential attacks. Students at Shama Senior High School are especially vulnerable and have voiced their fears about nighttime safety.
7th age, there's a lot of matters over here. You cannot pass wherever you are going, especially the babies. It's very, very harmful to us in such a way. It's supposed to work in the community, but there's no light when someone is passing. That's where the person is going, you see, lack of street light.
The situation is also negatively impacting commercial drivers. Kwame Owusu, a taxi driver who operates on these roads, expresses frustration that the lack of street lights is affecting their business.
Light is basically where that, right?
Due to the lack of street lights, so we close as early as 5 p.m. and this affects our income.
Meanwhile, the assembly member for Shama, Issa Abubakar, says attempts to replace the bulbs and restore lighting have been unsuccessful.
As we voted the constitution, came to the assembly board, and first assembly, the issue dropped out. Enough lighting in the community, lighting in the community, but it's not gotten anything. So probably it may be financial question.
Both residents and drivers are urging authorities to take immediate action to fix the street lights to ensure the safety of lives and property.
Stay with us here on News 360. We have some sports news coming up next.
This Sunday on Hot Issues.
What do you say to people who think that the NCCE has outlived its usefulness?
I think that the world is coming back to realizing that civic education is an important pillar of democracy, has been overlooked in most places.
What are your concerns around the December polls?
I'm worried about young people, shedding blood, losing life and limb over elections.
Are the politicians behaving themselves?
No, they are not. We must begin to punish wrong behavior through how we reward politicians.
To what extent is voter inducement a threat to our election?
It's such a threat, not just to the election, but to our existence.
Hot Issues shows Sundays at 2 p.m. on TV3.
TV3, first in news.
defeat means Lagos Cities are yet to pick up a point since the start of the new season. Meanwhile, Mediama moved to the top of the table, having won 2 out of 2.
Mediama have taken the lead. And it's the man Kamaradini versus the Bosha couple. Alice the hack. What a play. And Lagos Cities are trailing from behind in this encounter. I told you we were walling. Very good.
Now, to some fixtures in the Ghana Premier League for tomorrow. That is Sunday. Hearts of Oak will be facing Pando, Hearts of Lions. Bachem United will face Idiana FC. Brekum Chelsea will face Karela United. Basake Holy Stars will face Dreams FC. Young Apostles will face Nations FC. And Accra Lions will face Vision FC. To some more stories, Samatex meteoric rise from Ghana's second tier to Premier League champions has been nothing short of remarkable. However, they face their biggest challenge on Sunday as they face Moroccan side Raja Casablanca. There's more in this preview.
In just 3 years, Samatex have risen from the second tier to Ghana Premier League champions, and now they are set for their biggest test yet. On Sunday, they will face African giants and 3-time CAF Champions League winners Raja Casablanca, with a spot in the group stage on the line. The first leg will be played at the Accra Sports Stadium with a return match in Morocco. Samatex, making their debut in the Champions League, have already impressed by knocking out Cameroon's Victoria United in the previous round. Despite being the underdogs, head coach Nuruddin Amadou remains confident, vowing to give the experienced opponent a tough fight.
We know that it's going to be a very difficult hurdle, but notwithstanding, we are ready, we are motivated, we will go all out. What is happy about my team is that we are not conceding, and so that is good. We need to continue to work out, see how we utilize our few chances, and so that is what we are going to do come next week. We don't have any defenders, no pressure on us. We are a young club. We've also made our debut, and we are going to continue to work hard. It's not a must that we will get somewhere, but we are trying our best to at least get to the money zone. This as Dreams FC did, and then Mediama. We don't have any target this season, because this season we anticipate a very, very competitive league, and we'll take match after match, because now we are forced to reckon with the last year. They didn't take us to be any force, but now, so that is going to be very challenging for us. But that notwithstanding, hopefully we will try to see how best we can go this season also.
Samatex general manager Ed Monaka has called the clash a David versus Goliath encounter, acknowledging the gap in experience between the two teams.
We have a plan, we have a project, and we are still on course. They should expect more from us. I've been telling them, I said, look, no pressure. They are just like you. Any opposition, I told them, I've been telling them, they are just like you. There's no pressure in football. What we have learned is what we are going to show this to the rest of the world. It is not a matter of pressure. We are under no pressure. It's a work in progress. We are improving match after match.
But the Timber Giants are eager to make their mark on the African stage. Raja Casablanca's rich history makes them a formidable force, but Samatex domestic success and growing confidence could set up a thrilling contest as they look to extend their fairy tale run in the competition.
Now moving on to the Premier League, Matthias de Ligt scored his first goal for Manchester United as Eric Ten Hag's side claimed a much-needed 3-0 victory at Southampton. Erling Haaland also scored twice to take his Premier League tally to 9 as Manchester City recovered from conceding early to maintain their to end Ancelot's perfect start as Reds boss.
Well, with Keane Lewis
As I mentioned earlier, Erling Haaland is the first player to score 9 goals in his first 4 Premier League games. Also, we have Ancelot's record start coming to an end, and is the first home loss to Nottingham Forest since 1969. That is 55 years ago. And Marcus Rashford scored his first Premier League goal for Manchester United since March 2024. That is 189 days. That's it for sports here on News 360. My name is Billy Shen, and entertainment is up next.
Right, and thank you, Bill, for that update in the world of sports. And before we go to the world of entertainment news, we get an indicate that a number of people lost their lives due to fire that happened around Katamanso yesterday. Let's get some update on it. And we're told that about 4 people, unfortunately, were killed in the blaze. So let's get some confirmation and the latest regarding that unfortunate incident now. And joining us for this is Alex Kinati, who is a member of the PR unit of the Ghana Fire Service. Mr. Kinati, very good evening to you. Thank you for your time. So can you confirm the death of the 4 people and what's the latest regarding this fire?
Okay, so good evening, and so yes, I can confirm that unfortunately, as at Friday evening, in the early hours of 11:28 p.m., we received a call about the fire outbreak at Pond Kokompe. So we quickly dispatched our officers, who did well to get there within 10 minutes. Unfortunately, we lost 4 lives. A 27-year-old carpenter, whose wife unfortunately delivered the same day the man died through the fire. And then their 2-year-old boy, and also 11-year-old brother of the wife, and then a 14-year-old sister of the wife. So I can confirm that these 4 people lost their lives. All right. So we know that the fire is under control completely, is it? Is that the situation now? Oh, exactly. Even when the fire started around 11:28 p.m., our officers were able to put the fire under control as at 12:31 and finally extinguish it in the early hours of 12:55 a.m. All right, yes. Alex Kenati, thank you for that quick update. But quite an unfortunate story coming in that 4 people died after they were caught in a fire at Katamanso in the early hours of yesterday. That's it for that story. Let's bring you entertainment now.
News segment is powered by 3 Entertainment.
It's less than 3 months to the general election, and lovers of political campaign songs have yet to hear from the man whose name has become synonymous with campaign songs, Michael Adangba. Well, the Taka-Tika composer has been struggling with a heart disease and had to undergo a life-saving heart surgery. Adangba, who is now recovering, has been opening up to 3 Entertainment about his experience. We'll bring you that story later on. Let's now do international news.
Comoros President Azali Assoumani is out of danger after he was injured on Friday in a knife attack by a 24-year-old policeman who was found dead in his cell a day later, officials said on Saturday. The attack occurred around 2 p.m. local time on a Friday in Salimani Ichandra, a town just north of the capital, Moroni. According to the presidency, Azali was attacked as he attended a funeral. The motive for the attack has not been determined. The attacker, Ahmed Abdu, went on leave on Wednesday before orchestrating the attack on Friday. President Assoumani was sworn in for a 4th term in office in May following a tense January election, which his opponents claim was tainted by voter fraud. Officials deny the allegations. South Africa's Deputy President Paul Mashatile was fined after having struggled with the heat while giving a speech on Saturday afternoon. The Premier of Limpopo Province told state broadcaster SABC Mashatile collapsed while addressing a gathering commemorating the inauguration of a local tradition leader in Chanin, Limpopo Province, 412 kilometers northeast of Johannesburg.
And that's it for our package. Thank you very much for watching. I am Martin Asiedu-Dartey.
And I'm Ayisha Yakubu-Halid. Have a good evening.
Wow promo! Feel the moment of joy from 1xBet. Cash prizes. iPhone 14 Pro. 100 bonus points. Take part in the prize.